Elon Musk and Yoshua Bengio are among the notable individuals who have signed an open letter appealing for a complete halt to the creation of more powerful generative AI models, which is an unprecedented move. What is at risk? Possibly the continuation of humanity. However, the unfavorable effects of such a halt could be catastrophic and put us in a much worse situation than if we didn't stop generative AI at all. Building the scarcely understood. Recent developments in artificial intelligence have resulted in the creation of several high-impact technologies, such as ChatGPT, Claude, Stable Diffusion, and Bard. These technologies have shown immense potential in their ability to generate text or images based on patterns and probabilities learned from large datasets of text during their training. However, there are concerns that these AI systems may be difficult to understand or control, leading to potential ethical, social, and legal implications. ChatGPT, for example, is based on the large language model GPT-4, which operates by outputting the most probable token, a group of 3 to 4 characters, from a probability distribution for every text or image it receives. While this may seem like a simple process, it can result in complex outputs with emergent behaviors that are difficult to anticipate or control. In other words, the AI system may not fully understand the meaning of the text it generates, but rather, it simply relies on statistical patterns to produce outputs. Despite this, some experts such as Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, argue that GPT-4 is not merely a probabilistic engine, but rather a reasoning engine. This is due to the concept of emergent behaviors that these LLMs develop as they increase in size. As the AI system becomes more complex, it may exhibit behaviors that are not simply the result of its statistical patterns, but rather the result of complex interactions between its components. The potential impact of these emergent behaviors cannot be overstated. For example, an AI system may inadvertently generate harmful or biased content, leading to serious ethical concerns. Alternatively, an AI system may generate content that is so convincing that it becomes difficult to distinguish between real and fake information, leading to potential legal implications. To address these concerns, researchers and policymakers are exploring various methods to improve the understanding and control of AI systems. One approach is to increase transparency and explainability in the development of AI systems, allowing researchers and end users to better understand how the system works and identify potential biases or errors. Another approach is to implement ethical guidelines and regulatory frameworks to ensure that AI systems are developed and used in a responsible and ethical manner. Learning beyond our expectations. Large language models have emerged as an impressive technological development, but they pose a major challenge. These models have billions of parameters, which makes it impossible to understand how they make decisions or why they choose a particular response. LLMs are trained to predict reasonable responses to inputs by learning from large datasets of text, but we cannot explain how they do it. Even though we understand the basic training procedures of LLMs, minimizing cross-entropy, we don't know what complex representations they have developed. For instance, while Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has described GPT-4 as a reasoning engine, it is not clear if the model actually reasons or just imitates human reasoning. LLMs are essentially stochastic parrots that mimic human language by generating text based on patterns and probabilities learned from large datasets of text. This lack of transparency in LLMs is their biggest threat. As these models become more widespread and their use cases expand, we may not be able to control or understand the decisions they make. Additionally, these models may perpetuate biases in society as they learn from biased datasets. For example, LLMs may inadvertently promote discriminatory language or suggest biased responses to certain inputs. To address these challenges, researchers and developers must strive to create LLMs that are more transparent and explainable. This could involve designing models that prioritize ethical considerations and developing new techniques to interpret the decisions that LLMs make. Additionally, policymakers must consider regulations that promote transparency and accountability for the use of LLMs in high-impact applications. Emerging reason behavior and threat. Large language models like GPT-4 are built on massive neural networks, with billions of parameters that are trained on vast amounts of data. When given an input, these models tokenize and encode it into a numeric vector, which is then sent through the compressed space inside the model that holds learned parameters and probabilities, ultimately constructing an answer based on the input text and these learned representations. This process achieves impressive results, but it also raises serious concerns. One of the biggest issues with LLMs is that they are black boxes. While we can predict what we think the model is doing, we have no way of proving it. As these models continue to grow in size and complexity, they may develop new emergent behaviors that we cannot predict or control. This raises the question of whether these models pose an existential threat to our very survival. As a result, some individuals have signed an open letter calling for a halt to the development of better than GPT-4 models. While this may seem like a reasonable precaution, it is not necessarily feasible or practical. The development of these models is driven by a desire to advance our understanding of natural language processing and to create tools that can improve our lives. Stopping this development could slow progress in these areas and limit the potential benefits of these models. Instead, we should focus on developing transparent and explainable AI systems. These systems would enable us to understand how LLMs are making decisions and allow us to intervene if necessary. Additionally, we should invest in research that explores the potential risks of LLMs and develop strategies for mitigating those risks. Ultimately, the development of LLMs is not inherently good or bad. These models have the potential to revolutionize natural language processing and improve our lives in countless ways. However, we must recognize the potential risks they pose and work to mitigate those risks while still advancing the development of these powerful tools. Scary implication galore. Artificial intelligence has emerged as one of the most transformative technologies of our time. However, with the increasing development of AI models that surpass human intelligence, there is growing concern about the potential risks and consequences of unbridled progress in the field. This concern is reflected in an open letter signed by leading AI researchers and experts, who warn about the dangers of AI and demand a halt to its development unless adequate measures are taken to ensure its safe use. The open letter argues that advanced AI could represent a profound change in the history of life on Earth and should be managed with commensurate care and resources. However, the open letter also highlights the absence of control and understanding over AI models and the out-of-control race between AI labs, which create the perfect recipe for clumsy, no guardrails at all decision-making in the name of profits and margins. Such reckless measures could put humans at risk of losing control of our civilization. To address this issue, the signees of the open letter call for a moratorium on AI development unless AI research labs agree to a halt. However, bringing AI to a halt is easier said than done, as it would require a global effort from all countries in the world, each with its own conflicting interests and agendas. One way to cripple the AI industry, as John Stokes brilliantly described in a blog post, is to attack their most revered resource, GPUs. Seizing GPUs, which are essential for training AI models and running inferences, could cripple the industry and pause developments. However, this would require a globalized effort from all countries in the world, which is not likely to happen. Another way to fight AI is by attacking the files. AI models are mostly open source, making them impossible to seize. One solution would be to treat AI models as illegal assets to own or sell, treating these actions as contraband. However, this does not seem like a viable option either, as it is almost impossible to erase something from the internet. The bottom line is that taking such hard measures is simply not feasible because we live in a world where everything is about incentives. There are too many conflicting interests, money, bad actors, and power on the table to simply unplug it all for 6 months. Indeed, taking such disproportionate measures could eventually lead to taking AI away from society and handling these technologies on a silver platter to outlaws that would inevitably continue to leverage AI at a fraction of the price, as demand for GPUs would inevitably falter. Elon Musk's big concern. Musk has expressed concern about the development of GPT5, the hypothetical next iteration of OpenAI's language model, which could have significantly more advanced capabilities than the current state-of-the-art GPT-3. He believes that if AI is allowed to surpass human intelligence, it could represent a significant threat to humanity, as AI may no longer be aligned with human values and goals. Musk has called for greater regulation of the development and deployment of AI, as well as increased investment in safety research and measures to ensure that AI systems are aligned with human values and goals. He has also advocated for more transparent and open research practices, which would allow researchers to better understand and anticipate the risks posed by AI. Overall, Musk's concerns about GPT-5 and AI more broadly reflect a growing recognition among experts and policymakers that the development of advanced AI poses significant risks to humanity. That's all for today, folks. We'll see you another time.